divided by, I have 25 into 25 into 25.
Morning, sir.
Morning. Is equal to 1,40,608. Okay. Now you cross multiply. So you get P into 26 into 26 into 26 is equal to 140,608 into 25 into 25 into 25. Now in order to find P, you have to divide both sides by 26 into 26 into 26. So if I divide both sides by 26 into 26 into 26, I get 1,40,608 into 25 into 25 into 25 divided by 26 into 26 into 26. Now the question is how to cancel this, right? So now how am I going to cancel this?
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, 1,40,608 will cancel by 26 cube 8 times.
8 times. But okay, let's start with the small one. Let's cancel this by 2 first. Okay. So this becomes 70304. Again, let's cancel this by 2. So this becomes 35152. And let's again cancel this by 2. So you get 1 7 5 7 6. Okay. Now if you see, if you divide 17576 by 13, it will cancel. How many times? 13 1, and then you have 4 remaining, so 13 3. Okay, and then you have 6 remaining, 13 5, and then you have 2, right? And then this will cancel here again, 1 0 4 times, and then this will cancel again here how many times? 8 times, I think, right? Fine. So you have cancelled
Yes,
it
sir.
directly. You have cancelled it directly. I have cancelled it with the 2 and 13 as factors. Okay, so what am I getting here? I'm getting 8 into 25 into 25 into 25. Okay, and how much should this come to? This should come to 1,25,000. So your principal was, the starting principal was 1,25,000. Okay, any question?
No, sir.
And that is what we wanted to find. We wanted to find out the principal. Okay, now this was a sum when, if you know that this was a sum to find the principal when rate and time are given. When rate are and time n is given. This was such a sum. Okay, now the following sums are sums where you will have to find the rate and where you have to find the time. The principal and the amount both will be given. But let's see one sum here. Important kind of sum. And a little technique is also involved in these sums. Okay, so you have to learn the technique of how to find out the rate and time. Especially rate and time are a little tricky. So to find say solving number 11, rate. To find the rate R when amount A, principal P, okay, and time n are given. Okay, In the problem that we just solved right now, the rate was given, the time was given, the amount was given. You simply had to find the principal. Here, you have to find the rate when amount, principal, and time are given. Okay, let's read this question. Question is, if 40,000 rupees 40,000 amounts to rupees 46,305 here. So this is number 11 given here. 40,000 amounts to 46,305. The given principal here is 40,000 rupees. Okay, amount here is 46,305. Okay, so 40,000 amounts to 46,305 in 1.5 years. Compounded interest payable half yearly. Okay, so interest being compounded, time is 1.5 years. But since the interest is being compounded half yearly, what do we do with the time? We multiply it by 2. So we get 3 by 2 into 2, which is equal to 3. So n is 3. Okay, and you need to find the rate of interest per annum. Okay, let's put all these values in the compound interest formula. So we have A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power of n, right? Put these values. Amount is 46,305 is equal to principal is 40,000 to 1 plus rate we have to find, and the time is 3, right? Now question is how to solve this equation. We have already got an equation. How to solve this equation? First of all, what you do here is you divide both sides by 40,000 in order to remove this 40,000 from here. Okay, so if you divide both sides by 40,000, how much will you get? 46,305 divided by 40,000 is equal to 1 plus R by 100 cube.
Sir,
Yes,
I have a doubt, sir.
yes, tell me.
So how we got the time?
If you see, read the question, it says interest payable 40,000 amounts to 46,305 in 1.5 years. You see this 1.5 years?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
This is given. Okay. So now, till this part is clear, till this step.
Yes, sir.
Now what we
Sir,
do? Tell me.
sir, we will not divide rate by 2.
Rate, yes, rate should also be divided by 2. Yes, because time is, this is half yearly. Yes. So when we are writing the compound interest formula here, we are going to divide the rate by 2. Okay. So this becomes R by 200. Okay. So this becomes R by 200. Okay. Now there's a small technique here. Okay. What is the technique? We have to make the powers equal. You see, what is the power here? The power here is 3. We need to bring a power 3 here. That means we need to express this as a cube. Okay. Now there's a small common sense involved here. In fact, the property of cubes and when I was doing cube and cube numbers, I had mentioned to you this. Let us write this as it is with this on the left hand side. 46,305 divided by 40,000. This is just for convenience I am writing. I've just interchanged the left and the right hand side. Okay. Now, because we need to make this power a cube here, you must be able to express this one as a cube, numerator, right? And you must also be able to express this one as a cube. But can 40,000 be a cube? Is it possible for 40,000 to be a cube? Tell me.
No, sir.
Why? Why?
Sir, because there are 4 zeros.
Because there are 4 zeros. Exactly. And for cube, you must have either 3 zeros or 6 zeros or 9 zeros, right? Multiple of 3. So therefore, it is not possible to express this fraction as a cube. Then what do we do? Then what we do is we cancel the numerator and the denominator by the lowest factor. What is the lowest factor in this? 5, right? So we cancel
5,
this
sir.
by
Yes,
5.
sir. 5.
We cancel this by 5. So I think we'll get here 9 to 6 1. Okay, so we'll get 9261 here. Divide by 8,000. Now tell me, is 8,000 a cube? Is it possible to express 8,000 as a cube?
Yes, sir.
Yes, 8,000 is a perfect cube. Now, not only that, but you'll have to also have to see the numerator, right? Because you have to express the entire fraction as a cube. So is 9261 a perfect cube? For this, to check this, you have to prime factorize. Okay. So in your rough work, you'll draw a column for your rough work. In your rough work, you're going to prime factorize 9261. First of all, you'll divide this by 3. 3, 0, 8, and I think this should be 7. And then 1, 0, 2, 9. And then again by 3, 3, 4, 3. Okay. Now 3, 4, 3 is divisible by 7. So 7, 4, 7, 9. 7, 7, and then 7, 1. So is this a perfect cube? Yes, because they are in
Yes, sir.
triplets, right? So 9261 has been expressed as 3 cube into 7 cube. And 8,000 can be written as cube of what? 8,000 can be written as cube of 20, isn't it? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that means 1 plus r by 200 cube can be written as 3 into 7 divided by 20 whole cube. Now the powers are same. Now if the powers are same, the bases must also be the same. So 1 plus r by 200 must be equal to 3 into 7 by 20, right? So
Yes,
that
sir.
means 1 plus r by 200 must be equal to 21 by 20. Now we can find out r solving this equation. So r by 200 must be equal to 21 by 20 minus 1, right? R by 200. Now if you take the LCM here, 20, you get 21 minus 20. That means r by 200 will be equal to 1 by 20. Now if you cross multiply, you get 20r is equal to 200, right? So that means you get r is equal to 200 by 20, which is equal to 10%. So what do we see here? What you note here is, to find the rate, r, we need to make the powers on both sides, or the exponent on both sides. We need to make the power or exponent on both sides equal, right? Fine. This was the technique. In order to find out the rate, you have to make the powers same. If you can't make the powers same, then it is not possible to find out the rate in this manner. There are other ways of finding out the rate, which is not there in your syllabus. Okay, but in your examination, the kind of question that you are going to get in, you will be able to make the powers same. Okay, the question will be framed in such a manner that you will be able to make the powers same. Clear? Or any question here?
No, sir. No question.
Okay, we do the last type of sum from compound interest. And this time we are going to find out the time. Instead of finding out the rate, here we are going to find out the time in which rate will be given, amount and principal will be given. So this time
Uh, Sir,
question is,
what does semi-annually mean, sir?
yes, you asked about bi-monthly yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll come to that. Okay, semi-annually means, semi actually in English means half. Okay, annual means year. So that means we are dividing the year into two parts. Okay. Annually means yearly. So if you say half yearly or semi-annually, it's the same. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So you're dividing the entire year, 12 months, into two equal parts. 6 months and 6 months. Okay. So you are dividing the year into how many parts? Two parts.
2 parts.
So that is why when we are putting in the compound interest formula, we are dividing the rate by 2 and we are multiplying the time by 2. Okay. Now you asked about bi-monthly. Bi-monthly, what does this mean? This year, entire year that you have of 12 months, we are dividing into 2 months each. 2 months, again 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 2 months. So how many parts are there?
6 parts.
6 parts. So that is why in this case we divide the rate by 6 and we multiply the time by 6. Okay,
Okay, sir.
fine. So this is how, um, if I say monthly, then what will you do?
Sir, we will divide by rate by 12 and multiply the time by 12.
Exactly. If I say quarterly, then what are you going to do?
Sir, I will multiply the time by 4 and divide the rate by 4.
Exactly, because you are dividing the year into 4 equal parts. Fine. Coming to the next problem, to find the time n when principal P, amount A, and rate R are given. Okay. And which one is an example of this? The last problem is an example of this, number 13. So let's read question number 13. Rupees 16,000 invested at 10% per annum. So the principal here is, how much is the investment? 16,000. So principal is 16,000 and it is invested at 10% per annum. That means rate is 10%, but we'll see whether it is half yearly or quarterly or yearly. Okay. If you see 10% is compounded semi-annually. Semi-annually means half yearly. So rate has to be divided by 2. We're getting 5. Okay. Amounts to 18,522. So the amount is also given. 18,522. Okay. Find the time period of investment. Yes. So you need to find the time of investment, right? So we use the compound interest formula. So we have A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100. And what do we do with the time? Because the interest is compounded semi-annually, we multiply the time by 2. Is it clear? Instead of n, we'll write 2n. Clear with this?
Yes, sir.
18,522 is the amount. Principal is 16,000 into 1 plus rate is 5 by 100 and to the power of 2. Okay. Again, similarly, what we do here is we divide both sides by 16,000. So we have 18,522 divided by 16,000 is equal to 1 plus 5 by 100 to the power of 2n. Okay. Next, what we do is 18,522 by 16,000. We write as it is. Okay. And here on the right hand side, we take the LCM. 100 plus 5 by 100. We write it as a single fraction. Okay. To the power of 2n. So we have 18,522 divided by 16,000 is equal to 105 by 100 to the power of 2n. Now we are getting this. Now what we do here is, whenever we have to find the time, always remember that what this power, we have to make these two bases same. Okay. In case of rate, what were we doing? We were making the power same. But in case of when we are want to find out the time, we make the bases same. But when we are making bases same, remember that whatever base contains the power, you will have to reduce that to the lowest fraction first. That means cancel this by factor 5 and cancel this by factor 5. Okay. So we are getting here 21 by 20 to the power of 2n is equal to 18,522 divided by 16,000. Okay. Now the question is, because we want to make the bases same, can this be expressed as a power of 20? Can this be expressed? Can 16,000 be expressed as a power of 20? 20 into 20 is how much? 4,000, right? So 20 square is also not equal to 16,000. What about 20 cube? 20 cube is equal to 8,000, isn't it? What about 20 to the power of 4? 16, and then we have 4 zeros. But how many zeros do you have here? You have only 3 zeros, isn't it? This is 20 to the power of 4. That means 16,000 cannot be written as a power of 20. If it cannot be written as a power of 20, then what do? We cancel this by the lowest factor. What is the lowest factor here? 2, isn't it? So we cancel this 8,000 and we cancel this also. 9, you have 2, 6, 1, right? Now if you see 21 by 20, can 8,000 be written as a power of 20? Can 8,000 be written as a power of 20?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is 20 cube, isn't it? And what about 9,261? If you remember, I had prime factorized in the earlier sum. 9,261. What was 9,261 equal to? 3 cube into 7 cube, isn't it? Right? Right or wrong? 9,261 I had prime factorized in the earlier sum.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So I get this as, now you see all the powers are 3 here. So now I can write this as 3 into 7 divided by 20 whole cube. Now if you see, now the bases are same. 21 by 20 cube to 21 by 20 to the power of 2n is equal to 21 by 20 whole cube. Okay. So that means when the bases are same, we can equate the powers. 2n must be equal to 3. That means n must be equal to 3 by 2. That means what can we say? What is the time? 1.5 years. Clear? To find the time, we need to equate the bases. To find the time n,
Why?
we need to equate the bases on both sides.
Sir,
Is it
can
clear?
we check like that?
Check like what?
Sir, like this problem.
Hmm.
We
What
can
can you
check.
check? What is the specific question?
No, sir. Like we have changed 1.5 years again to 3, and we have again changed it.
No, I have already taken this equal to 2n, no, in the beginning here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
have
sir.
already taken this as 2n. That is why I've got my answer as
Yes.
1.5 years. Suppose if you don't change, suppose if you keep the instead of 2n, suppose you write this as n only, then your answer that you are going to get here will be 3 years, which later you will have to change 3 by 2. Understood?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So that is why it is always advisable to take 2n here only. Okay. And even in the earlier problem, when we are calculating the rate, even there, if you remember, I forgot to divide by 2, isn't it? if you take it that way, suppose if you forget to divide by 2, whatever rate that you are going to get, you will have to divide that rate by 2. Understood? If the interest is compounded semi-annually. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And similarly, if
Yes,
you
sir.
are if it is given that the interest is compounded quarterly, then you will have to divide the rate by 4 and multiply the time by 4 instead of 2. Okay. So I'll stop here.